So I'm excited to go ahead and bring this little quick webinar to you. Nothing long, just very quick. And it's actually going to be pre-recorded so you can listen to it whenever. And it's not pretty because I'm doing this one for free. So I just basically did it on Google Slides. So here's where we are. I'm not going to go through my backstory. You can go on my YouTube page. You can go get the book and download that if you need my backstory. You need all that. I want to get right into it. And I'll give you the gist to bring you up to today's speed. Real estate. They still haven't started the stuff in the moratorium. So I got to figure out what am I doing with my business. I built great relationships with a bunch of virtual assistants and I have them on deck. However, I put my real estate business on pause partly because of the not knowing what's going on in the market right now. With this pandemic and with trying to figure everything out, the market is so crazy, inflation is so high. It's time to sit back and observe, which also means that I need to figure out what I'm doing to bounce back to make money. I'm always coming back, I'm always bouncing back. However, I get tired of it. So this time, what I decided to do was, if this ever happens again, I need to make sure that I have in WOR they have what's called an operation plan. So my thing is wealth over riches. So this is my operation plan for coming back again, and it's a strategy guide for health, wealth, and happiness. I don't care about anything else right now. That's all I want to focus on. And if anybody wants to rock with me, then this is what I'll be teaching in my thing called the WOR Academy, which is a school where I'll be teaching all the stuff that I've learned over life, all the different skills I have, as well as inviting friends and bringing their skills and resources to the table too. So this is the whole overview of the WOR Academy, and this is our WOR operation plan. So let's go ahead and jump right into this so there isn't too much fluff. Health, wealth, and happiness algorithm. As you guys may know or may not know, my background is computer science. So that's why computer science and engineering, that's why I'm able to analyze everything. And everything to me always has an algorithm. What is the process? What is the rules that it follow? Like how to put things in order. So this is my strategy, my algorithm for health, wealth, and happiness. And anything you do in life, it always comes down to this. And not down to this because a couple of things on here, no, maybe not. But this is my personal strategy. Let's just say that. Number one, identify your goal. That's what we're going to be talking about today is the goals, how I identify my goals, how to quantify my goals, and how to set those up for success. The second thing is after you identify your goals, you want to research at least three successful people that have already done what you're trying to do. I have that already done. I'll go over that with you guys. Three, establish commonalities. Four, develop your operation plan. Five, you want to be your own personal case study. So when you develop your operation plan, it's your business plan, your marketing plan, just for that specific subject. And I'll go over that a little bit more as we go. Your personal case study, that's just execute every day. Document what's your it's called your KPI. What's your key performance index? What's your measurement? What's your variable? What's your common, like what is the main goal, and how are you at reaching that goal based on all the subsets of goals? But we'll go over that a little bit more later too. And finally, through that case study, make sure you document your successes, document your failures, document everything, which is the one thing I've failed to do and I haven't done, which is why I'm starting this now. Because if I had documented everything, then it would just be a matter of plugging and playing. And then create a course. This is what I notice all those people that are achieving a lot of success. They used to say there are those that do and those that teach. That's a model from the Illuminati. That's back in the day. That's old school thinking. Now there's those that do, and then once they do, they teach others to do what they just did. It's been the same since back in the day, but the Illuminati, the old school way of thinking that would have you framed in your education, would have you, oh, they're scam artists. Oh, they're only doing this because they did one deal. Look, I went through it. Russ Whitney, Carlton Sheets, all the guys, I went through that whole thing. So let's get back to this little. You guys should have a workbook. If you haven't gotten the workbook, then go to the website and download the workbook. So what is the goal? My goal is health, wealth, and happiness. Why haven't you achieved your goal? Stress, mental anguish, social circle, Illuminati, and PTSD. I've achieved my goals a bunch of times, but I've fallen back to where I'm not. And when I say PTSD, I'm saying post traumatic stress syndrome. That goes back to my social circles, my stress and mental anguish. I surrounded myself with too many. I'm going to call them energy vampires. I surrounded myself with too many people that made me feel like I don't want money, or it put this big block up to where I go start doing it. It's like, nah, you don't want that, because a lot of people have the fear of success. I mean, fear of failure. Well, I suffer from the opposite, the fear of success, because once you succeed, then those around you aren't succeeding. You open yourself up to all these different energy and all this just it's just stuff that was annoying. So when you're filling this out, make sure you're doing an honest assessment of why haven't you achieved your goal. Have you not read enough books? Have you not gone to enough workshops? Have you not done? Mine is simple execution, PTSD. Every time I start doing something, I pause, I slow down, I stop, and it's like, what are you doing? And then when I achieve success, then it's like something happens and knocks me off. So that's part of this program too, me putting that books in place to explain that stuff. But let's go to the next one. Has anybody already achieved that goal that you're trying to achieve? Yes. The way you find out who's achieved these your goals, go buy a book, go pay for a course, go get a resource. I'm giving stuff away for free right now because I'm in building mode. But best believe once I've achieved my initial goals, then this will no longer be free. You'll have to pay, for the simple reason I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for courses. I paid for Russell Simmons and his whole programs. I paid for Grant Cardone's. I paid for Gary V's. The guys I used to say, I'm not doing that. Like, why would I pay them? I paid so I can learn their business models. And so if anybody's achieved your goal, then go ahead and pay them for the fact that they've achieved something that you're trying to do, and learn their business model, learn what they're doing. And that's what's going to go into our operation plan. So again, we'll go more into that later. What is your business obstacle? My biggest obstacle right now is execution. Some of you guys are going to say you don't have enough time. Some of you guys will say you don't have enough money. Whatever your obstacle is, it's 90% of the time it's usually an excuse. So when I say execution, the root look, execution. The only reason I have executed is because I filled myself with excuses. So now I'm pushing myself to the point where there are no more excuses. I'm on this computer. I'm recording stuff because I'm doing this every day. I'm all in. I'm not hedging my bets on nobody else. I'm not trying to build anybody else's platforms. I'm not trying to work with anybody else in their brand. I'm putting myself out there because I realize if I want to get this done, I can't put it on everybody else for them to jump when I tell them to jump, because they still have to believe. And regardless of past performance and previous experience, nobody's going to follow you until you're leading. So therefore, I can't try to push somebody else to be the leader and say, let me follow you, and tell them what they're doing. They're not prepared to lead. I got to go ahead and do it myself. So whatever your excuse is, right, that like your biggest obstacle, 9 times out of 10 is an excuse. Make sure you put that down. And the last one, what will it take for you to achieve your goal? My goal is, like I said, health, wealth, and happiness. And to break that down, not just wealth, but generational wealth. That's going to take me with 3 years time. So now let's go down to these goals. Again, my goal is health, wealth, and happiness. As far as health, what do you mean by health? By health, I mean mental, spiritual, physical. Not just being physically healthy, because like mental health, I didn't even realize I had so many mental health issues over the last, let's say, probably 10 or so years, until today when I was listening to another program. Like, yo, dude, you really do have mental health issues. Like all this stuff you go through, like half of it you is all caused by somebody else, something that had nothing to do with you. Like even going back to the first thing that started the downward spiral was the lawsuit. It was all because my attorney didn't respond, and that just went to a downward spiral where everything else, the whole universe, it just felt like it was nothing but a roller coaster from there. So mentally, like mental health is a condition, and it doesn't mean that you're crazy. That's what a lot of people think mental health means. No, it doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means mentally you got to get through that block. Spiritual. Spiritual means having a strong relationship with my creator. Some of you guys say God, Allah. I got big homie. I don't care who you it is that you serve. I go under big homie, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I call it big homie simply because I believe a little bit different than a lot of people believe. And I'm not going to, for instance, I just believe differently than other people believe. So spiritual is one part, making sure that I have a relationship with my creator, that I put out good energy. Like me, that's the biggest thing, that I put out good energy and avoid negative energy in any means necessary. By any means necessary. If that means cutting somebody off, cut them off. If that means like cutting off all negative energy, that's the part I'm getting into now, because I still got some elements of negative energy around me, and I'm in the process of cutting those off. Like, we'll go over that when we get to the process. And physical, getting in shape. What does generational wealth mean? That's going to come through me creating a couple companies, and I'll only put a few down here. I don't know why I had these in the beginning: publishing, sales, technology, investments. Generating those, making sure that I have those in place for my babies to take over. Well, I can't say my babies because they're not, for my nieces and nephews and all the children in the community and everybody who benefits from the stuff that I'm going to teach them, for them to take over when it's their time and they reach that age where they're ready to be responsible and get into business. And finally, happiness. What does happiness mean? It means travel. It means being active, going out to do things, and finally having toys, material things. There's nothing wrong with having, like before I used to, when I had the big house. Oh, I don't need a big house no more. No, this time I want a 50 big house. So those are my overall goals. Now we have to figure out, how do I measure those and how do I break those down. So health. What's the goal for mental health? Minimal stress. There's no such thing as having no stress in your life, but minimal stress. Like you need a certain amount of stress to operate. So when I say mental, I want to minimize my stress. I want to make sure I have a productive inner circle. So now let's quantify that even more. My productive inner circle, I'm going to say leaders. And let's even go that even further, business leaders. And that are making, look, we're going to start low. I want to say 250K. No, net worth. One, what's an accredited investor? Accredited investor is 1 million. Let's say 2 million. I think it's 2 million. But no, I'll leave it at 1 million. 1 million plus. That's their net worth. Healthy relationships, friends and family. A lot of people don't understand, just because somebody's your blood doesn't mean that you have to stay around for their abuse. Doesn't mean you have to stay in those relationships. You can still love somebody and not deal with them. So when I see healthy relationships, that means that the people that I love, that I rock with, that we can move forward, I rock with. And the ones that I don't, that cause any type of friction or anything where some energy, whether it's on my end, because I do hold certain resentments of the past where it's like I can't get over stuff. Until I can get over it, cut them off. If it's something they can't get over me, cut them off. But if the relationship's not healthy, cut it the freak off. Just let it go. So that's how I measure these. Spiritual. How do I achieve, like, being thankful? Number one is my creator, my big homie, tells me to be thankful. Like, yo, if you just start off being thankful for what you do have, stop complaining, stop bitching, stop moaning, stop talking about, oh, woe is me. Man, just sit there and be thankful. And that's how I'm pulling myself out of this situation right now. That's how I'm fighting this PTSD. Every morning I wake up and I just start giving thanks. And I'll go through that in a minute. Understanding these universal laws: the law of gratitude, the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, and universal law of love. That's part of my foundation, and that's my spirituality in a nutshell, in those four universal laws. That's my big homie. That's what he brings me to. There's some things that fall under that, but making sure I'm living those laws. So now we get to the most important thing. Well, not the most important thing. To the easiest to measure is health. Physical. I suck at physical. I was 360 when I started this. I'm down to look, I'm going between 330 and 335 right now. But I need to get down to 200 pounds. And my goal is, by the time I launch this in January, like, this is just a pre-launch. I'm beta testing right now, building case studies. But by the time I actually launch this, where everything is done in January, I want to be at least down 100 pounds to 260 from where I started. So January 1st, 260. And then from January to my birthday, I hope to get that other 60 pounds off. So that's the measure of the physical. And then play sports, run around with the kids. And I want to do a bodybuilder competition. Like I don't want to just be lose weight and be slim. I want to be sexy. Like I want to like look at my shirt and say, "Dang, you sexy." So that's health. Now, once you have your goals, so I broke down my goals, and then my the top is goals, and then I broke down my objectives. Now, how do I achieve those goals and objectives? So here's my health program, and I gave you all the algorithm. Here's my program. Number one, start the day off with prayer, and here's the base of my prayer. I'm going to be thankful for material things. And we're taught not to be thankful for material things, that you're not supposed to be materialistic. There's nothing wrong with being material. There's nothing wrong with appreciating material things. But don't serve material things. Like don't let them be your God. Don't let the material things be above people. So I'm going to start off with actually, let me go ahead and change that. Since I'm putting this out there. Because I do start off relationships. I start being thankful for my relationships. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I just put my arm around my wife just to hold her so she knows I love her, because that's the part of prayer. I'm just giving thanks for her. And I spend time doing that. Then I get thanks for material things, because regardless, if you have absolutely nothing and you woke up, you had some place to lay your head. So when I say material things, I'm not talking about being thankful. Oh, I'm thankful for my big house, my fancy car. No, be thankful that you woke up in this morning. Be thankful whether it was the fact that you had a pillow. Be thankful. You're just giving gratitude for what you have. So in part of that prayer in the morning, like just be thankful. And then after that, you're allowed to put in requests. I put in requests for whatever it is I want. Like now, I want the $1 million. I want the big house. I want the fancy car. I want all these things simply because I can have them. Because it's my divine entitlement to health, wealth, and happiness. And I'm tired of not having because of my relationship with other people and PTSD. So I'm going to have it simply because I can. And the last thing is protection. When I do have it, protect me. I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be an arrogant asshole. Some people think that I am. I'm really not. I'm really a humble, loving person. It's just I don't allow people to walk over me. And because I won't be a doormat, some people take that as arrogant. Because I'm confident, they take that as arrogant or conceited. I'm not that. So I pray for protection that I don't have to fight. I don't want to fight with anybody. If I have to fight with you, big homie, take care of them for me. So that's my initial thing. I'm starting the day off with prayer. And that's how I pray. And then I'm going to end the day with prayer. Now, when I put those requests, those are going to require a certain amount of actions for me to do during the day. And once I finish the day, I'm going to give thanks for every single thing that I completed. Like this video. This is part of my daily task. Every day is set with a new bunch of tasks. So when I end the day with prayer, I'm going to be thankful for all the accomplishments and just be thankful. Like starting off the day being thanks, ending the day with being thankful. That's showing gratitude. And that's where I believe my big homie blesses me and opens up the door. 30 minutes of health, 30 minutes health study before bed. Oh, so, and then write down tomorrow goals. So I read books on, like the latest book was Obesity Code. I'm learning how does the body work. I'm actually also doing a case study with myself. Like I measure myself constantly. Studying what are my numbers, what's my data, so I can put that back in motion. And when I go to sleep, I believe very deeply in mental conditioning and subconscious and the power of thought. So I have a soundtrack I put together. I'll probably put a copy of it if anybody wants to download it. And that's my health, wealth, and happiness soundtrack. And what it is just binaural beats and understanding how different frequencies, how different thoughts, how different vibrations and energy, like your brain is so powerful. You have to understand, you got to learn how that works. This program is not designed for it to do that, but you have to understand how the brain works. There's a bunch of books. Go read them. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube. Go look at it. I used a lot of arms. I have to get out of saying diet, 4-hour eating window. Try to limit to nothing but fruits and veggies and things with natural ingredients. But the most important thing is that I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. The fact that I weigh myself on the scale is so I can see how it affects me, and before I eat, decide, is it really worth it? Do you really want it that bad? Exercise. I haven't started this yet, but I'm going to start this tonight. Push ups, sit ups, and squats. So that's the health program. Wealth program. Now, this is not the actual, this is just the overview. So by the time I get through and I've achieved success, I'm working on the case study right now. That's just the overview. All right. So I said wealth, generational wealth. So right now I have to work on the path, the earn part. So there's three different types of income. You have earned income, passive income, and portfolio income. Earned income is what you get from commission, you get from profits, you get from contracts or your salary with your employer, or how much you're being paid for your job. So that's earned commission. Then you have your passive commission. That's what you get from interest, your dividends, rents, and royalties. That's why I had the publishing company. So that's passive income. Then the third thing I want to build for the babies is a portfolio. And the portfolio will be all the different stocks, the real estate, the insurance, all those will be held in a trust, so that saves them from taxes and capital gains, so that they're able to get the benefit of them when it comes to time. So how am I going to do that? Wealth program. Whew, man. So I got a bunch of companies that I have to start. Some of them already started, but these are the main ones. The holding company is already there. Marketing company is what I'm doing now. Publishing company is what I'm doing now. Insurance and real estate, I put those on the back burner for right this minute. I'll be teaching them, but I won't actively be doing them until this pandemic is over and I know what's going on in the market and the economy. So holding company holds everything. And then the marketing and publishing, that's my two focuses right now. And then number two, develop passive and portfolio plan by first quarter 2022. So I've been one of those guys. I've been rich, but I've never been wealthy. And rich means I've had lots of money in my bank account, lots of money go out my bank account, but I wasn't wealthy because I didn't have the things I put in before. I was so busy making money. I never invest. Well, I had owned real estate in the past. Then I got caught with a bunch of tenants that wasn't paying their bills, couldn't pay my bills, so I got caught. So I don't hold any investment. I don't have any stocks. I don't have any properties. I don't have anything right now. So I'm going to get back to having that stuff and doing it in a responsible manner. Happiness. Was one of the hardest ones for me to figure out. What what does happiness mean? I think that was one of the things that I was in depression about the longest. I was so depressed I didn't even know what the freak happiness was anymore. So I had to sit back. What is happy? And it's funny. Once I started getting the happiness, that's when the whole pandemic happened, and life just went on pause. And let me not even say the pandemic. The pandemic is what started it. Then my wife caught cancer, and so the first thing was on the list was travel. So did I put the plan on here? Because why do I have it on there? Oh, these are backwards. That's the happiness plan. So this is a happiness program. In order for me to achieve happiness, I got to implement my health program and get in shape and get in order. I got to implement my wealth algorithm so that I have the money to do the things I want to do. I need to make a list of 12 things I want to purchase in the next 12 months. Make a list of things I want to purchase in the next 12 months. Make a list of places I want to visit in 2022, and write out the 2022 calendar. I did that in another one, and you guys will see that video as well. The operational plan. Happiness. This is how I'm going to measure it. Travel. I want to do 2 international trips a year. I want to do one national trip every quarter. And every weekend, well, not every weekend, at least one weekend a month, I want to take my wife on a getaway. I don't care if it's just something local, but I want us to enjoy life, and I want us to have fun. Sometimes we'll take the kids, sometimes we won't. But I want me and her to just be able to travel and enjoy life and enjoy different experiences and not have to worry about money. Relationships. I'll have my relationship with my community. I say I'm never doing nothing in the community again. That is incorrect. I will be leaving and moving the community that I'm a part of now and going to another one, but I'm always going to give back to this local community, whether they'll have the same access to me, most likely, actually not most likely, there's just a flat out no. You got to pay for access, and I can't be I can't be that person that I used to be, where I was available for everybody, because like I said, I got PTSD now. So in order to get access, it'll be a pay to play. But I do want to make sure I give back and I feed back into the community. I want to make sure I have a strong, good relationships with my family. I want to make sure I gave them the world. That's the whole reason I put this together. These babies really got me inspired, and my wife really does deserve it. My mother deserves it. So family is really what this whole thing is about. And the other one is business. I talked about my inner circle. My That's part of being happiness, because when we start traveling and going to places, don't want to just travel and go alone all the time. So you want to meet people that can afford to do what you can do, and that's something I've never done. Is like, when I bubble, you bubble, we all bubble, and I always paid for everybody. I can't afford to do that, because that'll just drag you down. So I need to form different relationships, something I was never open to doing before. That's part of my happiness strategy. And then toys. Uh, I want this stuff paid for. I don't want to be in debt for this stuff. Like, I don't. There's nothing wrong with debt, but when I get it, I want it to be mine. So the list of toys that I want expensive cars. I want a multi-million-dollar estate. And when I say an estate, I want the big house that's just like, yo, you don't need all this. You're right, I don't need it, but I wanted it, so I got it. I want horses. I want land. I don't want anybody to be able to just say, oh, hey, I came to visit you. No, you didn't just come visit me. You want to make an appointment before you come, because I might not be there. You don't want to come this far and I'm not there. And I want my house to have activities. If we ever come to another pandemic, I want the family to be able to go bowling. I want to be able to go swimming. I want to be able to watch movies. I want to be able to continue life inside our little estate. And if we want to go out in the world, then that's fine. But if there's ever a pandemic again, I want to make sure that we have the stuff just for our own entertainment in the house. And latest technology. I'm an Apple guy. And move on to, I'm not sure if I want an airplane or a helicopter, because now that I'm thinking about it, when I have the big house, it's going to not be that. It's not going to be secluded. So it's probably going to be a nice little drive from the city. So I might want to have a helicopter where I can fly into the nearest city and get my car and drive around, versus having to drive an hour or two away to get back to society. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the end. That's my overall operational plan. Now I've given you my goals and objectives. The next thing is to take, so you have your operational plan. Your plan has your goals, then you have your objectives, and then under your objectives, oh gosh, what's it called? I can't think of what it's called right now, but because I've went through all these courses, they call them so many different things, and it's like, why did everybody change the name for stuff? And I said, oh, I guess you had to change the name to make your course sell a little bit better, because for the flashy name. But I want to use the old school names because they don't use them no more. But it's goals, objectives, processes and procedures. I'm going to go over the processes and procedures for how we're going to achieve these goals, and what we're going to use for the case studies, and what we're going to use for our key performance indexes, so that every single morning while I'm doing this, we're going to say, were these goals reached and how do we do? And I also have a team that I'm going to be meeting with. I'm not sure if I'm going to share those like publicly, or if you have to be part of the inside group to get that. But I'll be meeting with my team every morning, making sure that we're meeting our goals for the wealth section. All right. Anyway, that's it, guys. Have a great day. Love you. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.